It's been a long time coming, but this weekend at UFC 283, the Octagon makes its long-awaited return to Brazil. Of all the talking points there are with this particular event, it's an undercard fight featuring middleweight prospect Gregory Robocop Rodrigues that I find myself focusing on. My inclination to focus on Robocop comes down to the fact that I think he's a major prospect in the division right now. He's not a guy who's been getting a lot of attention just yet, but he is one I can see eventually catching on amongst the fan base. If and when that happens, it's not going to be because of his personality blowing up your television or his entertaining post-fight interviews. It'll be from giving some of the highest level of competition in the UFC's middleweight division an absolute thumping when he gets locked in the cage with them. Rodrigues moved to America as a jiu-jitsu coach after getting his black belt under Henrique Machado, who was the jiu-jitsu coach of Jacare Souza. But you never think this guy's a BJJ specialist by the way he fights. Aptly nicknamed Robocop, this guy's all about stepping into the pocket and trying to end his opponent with his hands, with little to no regard for his own personal safety and little to no reaction whatsoever when he gets cracked with heavy shots himself. When the fight starts, he puts his opponents on their heels right from the jump. Every single punch he throws has fight-ending intentions. He isn't the fastest in the world, but he is up there as one of the hardest hitting 185ers on the roster without question. As I said, he isn't the fastest guy going, but he is efficient. There's no wasted movement when it comes to his approach. He walks forward with a high guard and tries to knock you dead each time out. He's one of those guys that when he swings and lands, you can feel the thud in the broadcast. He doesn't come with a fast pace, but he's an aggressive guy with no qualms about stepping into a firefight. Throughout his career, we've seen him wobble opponents with a jab and stop fights with strikes from various positions. At 6'3", he's a tall and rangy middleweight, but by no means is he slender. He's built like a house, a very imposing middleweight, and he isn't a guy that just looks the part. The reason I'm so high on him is because of the sheer violence he produces when it comes to his striking power. Whether it be when he's standing or in a grounded position, he straight up hurts people. All of this talk about his striking, and I've yet to mention that it's his jiu-jitsu that really separates him from the rest of the division. Even for the most casual viewer, Robocop's jiu-jitsu is an absolute pleasure to watch. He has incredible control, impeccable technique, and the most seamless and technically perfect transitions that you're gonna see. He has an incredible double leg takedown with picture-perfect timing and a lot of very cool judo throws that often produces high-amplitude slams that land him in the top position. He's a serious submission threat, and more often than not, when it comes to the grappling realm, he's going to outclass his opponent. But what you really have to worry about when this guy gets on top of you is him drubbing your head into oblivion. The power he possesses in his hands, coupled with the control he has, is special. I see a lot of TKO stoppages from that top position in the future. He first landed on the UFC radar when he got on the Contender series in 2020, and it was a showcase that ended up not going his way when he got knocked out in the first round. After that loss, he went to LFA, where he rattled off 2 knockout wins, including one that captured him the middleweight title. I feel like the fact that he experienced some losses already at this point in his career is a good thing. Taking losses before coming to the show allowed him to mature more as a fighter and to be better prepared for the bright lights of the UFC. A lot better than if he were to enter the promotion with an undefeated record. A lot of the growing pains have taken place already, but what we're seeing now is a very dangerous individual who is on his way into his prime. What is most exciting about it all is that, as good as he is, he's now under the tutelage of Henry Hooft. So it's going to be very interesting to see the progression of his striking as we continue to move forward. He was originally slated to face Brad Tavares at 283, but Tavares fell out, and now he's going to face UFC newcomer Brunno Ferreira. Ferreira is a fighter with a 9-0 record with all 9 wins coming by stoppage victory. Given the way both of these guys fight, this one's destined to be a barn burner. Especially when you take into consideration that it's going to be in front of a rabid Brazilian live crowd that's certain to be electric. This fight has a high probability of delivering what all the fans have come to see. But if Robocop shows up at UFC 283 and does what I think he'll do, earning another impressive finish, it's one more step towards the named fighters in the middleweight division. And with respect to all the guys in the top 15, when you take a look at that list and take into account the skills of Rodrigues and how he performs, I feel like he beats a lot of those guys. So as much action as there is at the top of UFC 283 with the flyweight title fight, the light heavyweight title fight, and the intriguing welterweight matchup between Magny and Burns, be sure to tune into the undercard and get the jump on getting acquainted with the one they call Robocop.